Good evening. Tonight, from Detroit, we go after the story of conflict between big business and big labor, a struggle that promises to shape the future of our entire economic system.
In the early days of the 20th century, the automobile industry is the most important industry in the world. The discipline inside plants tended to be vicious.
You did exactly what the boss told you.
The speed up had to stop. The safety of each of us was threatened.
Kind of glorified gold-plated sweatshop.
If they caught you wearing your union button, you were fired and frequently beat up.
Just because they pay a worker, they don't own him.
And machine after machine were shut down.
We're on strike. It's a sit-down.
Everybody locked the gates, welded the gates.
And they shot tear gas into the plant.
There were a lot of thugs to hurt union people then.
A double-barreled shotgun was fired through the front window.
You have to be willing to put your life on the line if you really believe in a cause.
The union gave the workers dignity.
We felt like we were people again.
What the labor movement had done is force employers to pay really good wages.
From life insurance to pensions to medical insurance, Detroit was the richest city in America.
This union has not interpreted its responsibilities narrowly. They should demand freedom now, here and now.
And then all of a sudden, all of these things began to erupt.
He knew he was dealing with the golden goose.
We would not accede to the unconscionable demands of a powerful union.
It gave Luther a lot of power.
There are no secrets. I am running away from nothing.
But Walter said, if I raise this question with Lyndon Johnson, I'm out of there.
Walter found himself somewhat isolated.
My father and Walter and Victor were just so convinced of the righteousness.
And I began shouting at the top of my voice.
He challenged them to participate in that union and to make a difference in terms of people's lives.
We have come together to join hands in a common struggle for justice and human dignity, and nothing will stop us.
There's definitely a special magical bond that happens in those instances. It's like anything, like a war, like being on a team, you know, like those things create a bond that you can't just find walking down the street.
Whenever labor negotiations get tense, it takes a long time to repair.
Right now, there's a lot more power for employers than for workers and unions.
They're willing to do their share, and the company's just asking for too much.
Land of dreams. It's a necessity often that forces people to cross borders. Nobody wants to leave their families and their homes and their cultures behind.
This meant they say that will be a development, there will be jobs, there will be many things. But instead of, we have a global economic crisis and we have massive unemployed, layoff, and many people before was trying to have informal economy, but at this time even the informal economy is not an option because everyone is selling everything. Or even immigrate is not an option either, because as you can see, in the United States, people is being persecuted as criminal. So this is the foreign people that come from the South, Central America, but they don't have nothing, no infrastructure, no water, no electricity, no housing, no nothing.
within a decade of NAFTA, the real median income of Mexican working people dropped 30%. That's the story that's not told.
In order to make education a commodity that can be traded between states, you have to privatize it, and in order to privatize it, it helps a great deal if you standardize it.
After it was signed, we were told that it was going to bring prosperity to workers in Canada and the United States and Mexico. And we all know, living in Canada, that it resulted in the deindustrialization of the manufacturing base.
NAFTA wasn't just about trade. It was about freeing up the flow of capital. So it was about giving capital more options about where to produce, where to invest, and using that power to threaten workers and to weaken workers.
The solution to this problem is not to turn against the Mexicans who are forced to migrate to the United States in search of a way to feed their families. The solution is for us as a working class, as working people, to stand together and change the rules of the game.
Nos decían que con el Tratado de Libre Comercio íbamos a tener un mejor futuro, mejor educación para todo, para la escuela, comida y todo, y pues al contrario nos dieron en la fregada porque hay más pobreza, hay más hambre, muchos niños no van a la escuela porque no les alcanza a los padres con lo que uno gana en las maquiladoras, cuando nosotros le damos a generar millones y millones de pesos, y no, por eso nosotros nos empezamos a organizar aquí.
Promises, 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 promises.